Well, good afternoon, my fellow followers. Thank you for joining me today. Today, we welcome the dating episode 6, Chronicles of Dating. I think we're on 6 today. So today's topic, I want to expand on intuition. And I have some updates that are really related to intuition too. So you probably read my blog and probably going, oh, where are her updates? Where are updates? I'm going to go over some updates for you too. But let's talk about intuition. Intuition is really powerful. Okay, it's like we are all connected in the universe at a higher vibration level, right? And we can feel things, so we sense things. Let me turn the radio down a little bit. We feel things, we sense things because we're connected to each other, okay? A lot of times those connections come in the form of our intuition. So when our intuition is telling us something, like something's off, something doesn't feel right, something feels good, that's your intuition. And it comes from the pit of the inside of your gut. It really does, you know? And I highly encourage everyone to just really start listening to their intuition, focusing on it and following it, and really, really listening to it, because it can tell you so much before anything else. Like, you know, unbelievable. Now, I don't want this to go to an extreme where people go, well, if you start digging for stuff, you'll find stuff. That's not what this is about. It's about really listening to what the universe is telling you and picking up on those vibrational levels of others. You know, they say women's tuition is the strongest thing, especially when it comes to her children, and it's something that increases when you have children of your own. And that is absolutely true, because you now are connected to a human being at a whole different level that we've never been connected to before, and part of it comes naturally, but a lot of times I think people are just so tuned to tuning it out that they stop listening to it or they dismiss it. So I want to talk about some some examples of my intuition. Not just say tuition. I don't know why I said that. I want to talk about some examples of my intuition that have happened to me and how it relates to dating. And this is part of my updates, okay? So in one of my vlogs, I spoke about a gentleman I had been dating for a few weeks, and we had a date set, and I hadn't heard from him that day, so I reached out to him. He said he was at work, and I said, well, what's up for tonight? We were supposed to do something, and we didn't have anything set, like time or place. We've been out a few times, and we've known each other a while, so it was kind of at that point where I didn't feel like we had to, like, you know, hey, what time and what place, you know, all that kind of great stuff. So I hadn't heard from him, so I was like, okay, well, what's up for tonight? And I never heard back from him. And about 5 o'clock rolls around in the evening that day, and I'm like, well, I still haven't heard back from him. To me, at that point, all bets are off. Now, we weren't exclusive. There was no commitment, nothing like that. We were just into the dating part of it, so it's not like I had to go chase him down. I'm not going to chase someone down. I mean, he didn't respond to me for a reason. So by 5 o'clock, I hadn't heard back, so I'm like, okay, well, then I need to make other plans. And unfortunately, I had already passed up some other offers from some friends to hang out that night, but earlier in the week, and I passed them up because I'd already set these plans. And so anyway, a few hours roll by, and then my intuition starts saying, hey, something's up. Something's really wrong, because I still hadn't heard from him. And not that I was expecting to, but if, you know, something happened, got caught up at work or something, you know, whatever, I would at least thought that I'd heard something. I was like, that's really odd. And then I was like, something's off here. My intuition started telling me something is wrong. He is blowing you off. Okay. So I thought, okay. And how do you deal with that? You know, I can't prove it, right, at that point. But I'm not a very confrontational person when it comes to dating. I love to spread love, peace, and joy anyway. All right. So I went on about my night. The next day, I guess it was early afternoon. I said, okay, I slept on it, what I was going to do. So then I decided to go ahead and send him a text and say, hey, what happened? I thought we were supposed to meet up. And he responded quite quickly. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And he told me about some things that had happened, but not something that I thought would take up his whole entire night. Not something where he couldn't find 5 seconds to call me or text me and say, hey, something really bad came up. But what he was telling me that came up, I didn't think it was like ruin his whole night type bad, right? And it just didn't feel right. At that point, I'm like, no, something's off. I think he blew me off. I think he's out with someone else. And hey, he has every right to date whoever he wants. We weren't exclusive, but the fact that we had something set and he ignored me, I won't do that. I just won't. That's not right. I won't stand to be treated that way, So, funny enough, a few hours later, a mutual friend on a Facebook of ours on Facebook posted some pictures from the night before, and he was in those pictures with his date, and he was tagged in it. I was like, oh, see, my intuition was right. I knew, that's what I was feeling, and I was like, gee, eventually everything comes out, right? You can't lie to someone, or to me, even though he didn't, he lied that day, but the night before he didn't lie, he just ignored me. The same thing, right? So I don't hold any grudges. I don't have any hard feelings. I want to rise above it and keep myself happy and centered, right? So anyway, so I thought, okay, I made a comment on her post. Oh, hey, I hope you had a great time or something like that. I don't know if he saw it or not. Chances are he may have seen it. I don't know if he knows that he got caught, but sometimes walking away, and I've written this in my blog, walking away with that knowledge is actually more power, right? And it's actually more centering, and I like to stay centered. This commercial is bothering me. So anyway, okay, so I vlogged about that and a little bit more detail to that story. Well, okay, things took a little bit of an interesting turn, just a small little turn. So I had mentioned, I think in that vlog, that I had a date scheduled, and I did, and I went out on this date with a really nice gentleman. And by the way, guys, I'm not going to mention anyone's names. Don't even ask me for names. I'm not going to put any details about my dating life right now as far as who's who, because I think anonymity is really, really important. And there's been a few people who are, see me on Facebook and see me in my singles groups, and I want them to understand that, everybody to understand that I'm trying to keep everything anonymous. I think that's the right thing to do. And anyway, so I had this date, and some things came up, the date schedule, some things came up where it wasn't really going to work out on the day that we had planned. So he reached out to me and he said, hey, what about this day instead? Yeah, sure. Let me make sure I'm clear on my side. So it worked out, and it was kind of a first date. So I went down and I met him, and I think we were there like 5 minutes, and I was talking to some people that I knew there. I didn't realize I was gonna have some acquaintances there, which was really kind of cool. And in walks the guy who bailed on me, who just went silent, and with the same date. And it was just kind of like, he was like when he saw me, he didn't say anything. I was nice, I was cordial. We chit-chatted for a little bit. I didn't bring it up. I don't know if he knows I know yet. I don't know if he's seen my videos, if he's seen my writings. I have no idea. I'm not really going to sweat it because I'm not going to hold any animosity, but I just thought that was kind of a weird twist, so I thought I'd give you the update. But y'all probably wanting those updates, and it's funny how I said I want to talk about intuition, and then boom, I've got a great story for you about intuition. Listen to your intuition, and if you need to learn how to hone it, learn how to hone it. It tells you everything you need to do. Now, the key factor about intuition is if you're not healthy and you're not centered, it's going to work against you, because you're going to get in your head and you're going to start making up things and situations and scenarios in your head. You don't want to do that. Okay, that's really, really important, not to put yourself in that place. So you cannot be up in your head. Okay, intuition comes from inside, feeling in your body. So very, very important distinction in those two. So I think there's some YouTube videos out there that are great to follow if you don't know how to hone it in and make it better. I would highly recommend that. But the key is you really need to be healthy and coming from a healthy place and be centered in order to really make it work for you. Not against, otherwise it's going to work against you. If you're up in your head, it's going to be against you. I have some other intuition stories too that I could get into, but I think I've decided that I'm going to keep those really, really private. They're something that's near and dear to my heart. So I think I'm just going to stay away from that. But here is a very recent one that we could talk about. So yeah. And by the way, if you're wondering, the date went well. I had a really lovely time. So yay on that one. Do I have any more dates lined up? Well, possibly. We'll see what happens. And we'll go from there. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, tell me what you think about intuition. Tell me about if you have a story that you want to throw out there in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Let's talk about it. Now, wait a minute. I need to probably make a disclaimer, okay? Because I know sometimes, and yes, I'm stereotyping women here, okay? And I'm not trying to say all women, okay? But there's some women who, start pointing fingers and start accusing someone of something that may or may not be true, and I think a lot of it is like women are like accusing their men of cheating, or hiding things. And that's when that happens, and that's not coming from a healthy place. That's being up in your head. That's not the intuition type stuff that I really am asking for here. I really want where it comes from a healthy place, okay? And it may be something good, may not be relationship related. It may be something else in your life related. I'd love to hear about that. So let me know what your thoughts are. There's our episode. Okay, and I'm still YouTube. I was going to try and do that this evening. I'm not feeling well today, and I have actually a video I made earlier that I want to post about me not feeling well, and that may come tonight. It depends on if I'm feeling a little bit better. I had to run to the store and get some stuff really quick at Walgreens, but I'm going to try and start publishing all of this out to YouTube, and if I can get it published out to YouTube, then I'll start putting the YouTube channel, linking it to my account here, which it should be fabulous, right? All right, y'all have a wonderful night, and until our next vlog and our next installment, I hope you have peace and love. Bye.